Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be covering the Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck, and you're going to be able to decide for yourself after this video if it's actually worth it for yourself to invest into the structure deck, whether you want to actually play it as a deck, or if you want to actually, buy it to save and maybe get better trade bait later on, because sometimes you can actually pick up some structure decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And make a nice profit or get better trade bait by holding on to some of the cards and selling them or trading them individually. So first off, let's go ahead and jump right into it with the good cards and good reprints that are actually in this structure deck. So first off, we have Traded. Now this card hasn't had a reprint in quite some time, I would say, and it's a card that usually people when they play it at 3, so it was actually shooting up towards a couple bucks at one point, and now it's gone back down because of the reprint in it. Next up, Phoenix Chain, a fantastic card. It's pretty much splashed in a lot of decks, so it's a great card to use. Next up, a reprint of Blue Eyes. Although the artwork on it isn't that cool. This is not the actual artwork. This is just the one from Gold Series 5. That is the Ghost Red one. But yeah, I wish they would have had like some special reprint of Blue Eyes. But yeah, a foil Blue Eyes will always be worth $1 or something like that. Next up, Cards of Consonance. Also a great reprint. Next up, Alexandrite Dragon, Flambeau Garg, it's used in the E-Dragons. Next up, the Maiden with Eyes of Blue. That's such an awkward name. But anyways, yeah, this card, it's an okay card. It's not going to be like splashed in other decks, really. I mean, if you're running this card, you're going to have to play Blue Eyes, but it is also a tuner, which is pretty awesome. Next up, Compulse. This is just a fantastic card. Next up, Honest. Anything that, plays lots of lights, they need Honest. It's a good card. It'll always be worth like $1. And then, obviously, you have the new Synchro, the Azure Eyes Silver Dragon. If you guys didn't actually play this when it was actually like, I don't know who decided the effect of what this was, but a long time ago the effect was once per turn during your main phase you can target a normal monster. It was like, I think it was a normal dragon monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So you'd synchro for Blue Eyes. You'd synchro using Blue Eyes, and then you bring back Blue Eyes and you can hit him for 55. It was actually ridiculous, and I'm glad that they changed the effect during the standby phase. So it's not as good anymore, but I am happy that they did change it, because otherwise the deck would actually be a lot more aggressive and a lot better, I would say. Next up, we have the White Stone of Legend. Also, nice to have this as a reprint. So that pretty much just covers all the good cards. In the OCG, they got a really good card. They got Max C, where we didn't get that card. If Max C was in the structure deck, I would actually tell you guys to pick up the structure deck and just hold on to them for a while and then make a profit later on. But because Max C isn't in the structure deck in the TCG release, I would say you break about even, realistically. I don't see any of these cards really jumping up in price because Compulse is at 1, and all the cards pretty much are going to be worth like $5 or less in here. I don't really see any other card jumping up in price. But as far as you building the deck, if you're interested in building this deck because you want to, build it and pick up 3 structure decks and try to make a deck out of it, I don't think that this deck actually can compete with a lot of the higher tier decks, simply because if you're playing against a player that knows you're playing this deck, they just won't attack the Maiden. It's as simple as just not letting your opponent get out the Blue Eyes. I know that sometimes you can activate cards like Wonder One, and then that can make it so you can actually get out the Blue Eyes, and your opponent can't really do anything about it other than stopping with maybe like Solemn Warning or whatever they can do to stop it. But generally your opponent is going to be able to see what your deck is going to try to do, and they can just play it real slow and then just simply OTK you. Although this card, it's kind of difficult sometimes to OTK and get rid of this card, because as soon as it's targeted, it's like, nope, I'm going to get this effect. But yeah, there are times where Phoenix Chain can really ruin this card, simply because Phoenix Chain will make it so you won't get your effect, and on top of that, it's a 0 attack monster, so you can still OTK this deck pretty easy. They do have one card that technically brings out a Blue Eyes, which is a pretty nasty card to deal with, but I don't think that card's really going to be worth anything. So if you're actually investing into this deck to play, I would say it's not going to be the best deck. Don't expect really to be up there with like the E-Dragons, being able to compete with them, because what's going to happen is they're going to steal your Blue Eyes, and you're going to become very sad because they're just like Big Eye, and there's just so many things that they can do to this deck. And this deck, sometimes it can have bad draws, health, and it does not have a good matchup against the Evil Swarm deck. So if you're going to be playing this deck, I would say watch out for Evil Swarms. Maybe XYZ Encore or Breakthrough Skill in the main deck is definitely going to be needed, because if you get matched up against Evil Swarm, you're going to have a bad time. But hope this helps you guys out, whether you were interested in making some money or getting better trades off of it, or if you were just interested in playing the deck. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Asian Eyes signing out.